Please, for the love of God, silence your fucking cell phones and be courteous to those around you. Enjoy the podcast. There, by the way, so don't say anything you don't want on Twitch. What's up, Rob?
What's up, fellas?
Hey,
Whoa.
how's it going, man?
What we rocking over there for a mic there, Chief?
I don't have my earbuds with me, so I was hoping that the laptop mic would be good.
Bro, you already knew the answer before you left.
You can keep open.
You knew.
I was hoping the laptop.
I was hoping this
mic.
piece of shit microphone on
Has
my
there,
built-in computer.
has there ever been a laptop microphone that's been acceptable for? Okay, Rob. All right, Rob. Talk for me again, because it didn't sound too bad there for a second. Or don't talk for me. Are you there?
Hold on. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes. We got to get you one of those little microphones that I see the people holding on TikTok all the time. We got to get you a
Testing.
I mean, it is what it is.
Testing.
Let me ask you something. Did you just now try to hook up something other than the laptop microphone?
Yeah, I put my Bluetooth earbuds.
Are they
to see
on?
if that was any better. Yeah, they're on.
Is that the microphone that's picking up in Skype?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that from the earbuds?
Okay, well, to be fair, it is better than the laptop was. So, we'll roll with this. But yeah, I guess we're ready. I don't have anything. What's up, El Chorzone? El Chorzone, I don't know if you know this. He's blind, so his ears, he has great hearing. He says the earbuds sound way better. So, I will defer to the blind person listening.
There you go.
What sounds better. Okay. Anybody need to do anything before we get started?
I gotta open a can.
Ooh, a
Yeah,
can
Hey, me
of
too.
Coke Zero.
Coke Zero.
Coke Zero.
That was a great guess. Look at us.
They're both
Who would've
drinking
thought?
Coke Zero.
Not me.
Hey, look at me. I'm not drinking Coke Zero.
I don't have anything. Oh, all right. Well,
Look at us.
look at us.
I got two.
And you were drinking a coffee. You're not going to bed tonight, Rob.
Double fisted.
Yeah.
Have you had any
Alright.
water today, Rob?
Not a lot.
Gotta drink
Probably
that
drink-
water, homie.
And a Mountain Dew. Jesus Christ, man. What'd you do? Go to the whole...
Well, if you want to hear the story, I forgot my water bottle at home. So driving up here was like about a 6-hour drive. I didn't drink nothing during that whole period.
Nothing
so
at
once
all?
nothing.
It's 6 hours. You stop at the gas station. Get something to drink. There's many gas stations on the road.
I had yeah, I thought about that, but then I was like, it's just a little further. So I just kept on driving.
I couldn't go 6 hours without drinking any.
What,
Yeah,
were
I do
you-
have
what-
a
oh,
collapsible bottle.
How much? Okay, so you didn't bring anything with you to drink, but now you've got an entire convenience store worth of beverages, 2 cans of Coke, a Dunkin' Donut, a Mountain Dew, a gallon baggie of water.
you got a
What
catheter
else you got?
mixed in there?
What else you got?
Where are you at? What city are you in?
Athens, Georgia.
Okay. Just curious.
Yeah, and I got a job up here, and then tomorrow I'm going to be over in Atlanta. And then
Milliamp still over there?
I believe so.
Talking about moving, but I don't think he did. Say hi to Milliamp.
Well, go knock on his door and say hi.
Well, I met with him once, and I don't think either of us had a good time. So,
Oh.
so haven't been in touch ever since.
All right.
That doesn't
Well,
surprise me.
Yeah, I told Brent about it, so he knows what happens.
I don't remember that story. Fascinating. I don't remember that at all. Okay. Well, on that note, let's get started. You all know the drill. Let's do it. 3, 2. It's Rob and Brent and my Reggie dude, and don't forget it also features Dawson too. We gonna give you all the dope reviews, but first we'll hit on all the movie news. Cha-ching, cha-ching, box office due. In between the news and the reviews, there's not a lot that we don't do, so turn the volume up, cause we coming through. Put your headphones on and tie your shoes. Jackman and Grant, we got all the views. We're like Brando in Godfather 2. We're gonna make a podcast you can't refuse. This is the Cinema Chat Podcast, and we know a lot about movies. Welcome back to the show, everyone. It's another episode of Cinema Chat Podcast with Rob and Brent and Reggie featuring Dawson. I'm Brent.
I'm Rob.
I'm Reggie.
I'm featuring Dawson.
Reggie
I'm Reggie.
is not here. Reggie is in Colombia, I think.
Yeah.
Colombia with his brother. So he's
Like Colombia, the country, or
Ye-
Colombia, like somewhere in the U.S.
like cocaine, Colombia, the country.
Cocaine, Colombia.
Yeah, he's there. So he's off continent, which I guess is an acceptable excuse for missing a show. What's not an acceptable excuse is not finishing a movie that you're reviewing, Reggie, like you did last week. That's unacceptable. But we gave, it's actually a punishment. We gave Reggie a 1-week suspension, and he said, well, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to Colombia. And for that 1-week suspension, we brought in Finn from VentChat. Hey, Finn, what's up?
Hey, I'm Reggie
Yay.
this week. I'm Reggie.
You're Reggie. I don't know if you guys know what VentChat is. You know, if you listen to Cinema Chat, there's a good chance you don't know about VentChat, but Finn is he's a background guy. He's like he's my co-host over at VentChat. So Dawson's on there too sometimes. He does some stuff. He's kind of funny. You might not know it by listening to this podcast, but he's funny over there.
What are you talking about right now?
I
I don't think we have anybody who doesn't listen to Vent Chat.
No, we definitely do. There's like 3 people that I know of, RL, that refuse to listen to a 3-hour podcast, but will listen to a movie review podcast. They're like,
I agree.
I show it to them, Finn, and they're like, "That's 3 hours, bro." And that, you know what? Originally, whenever Just Joshing introduced me to Vent Chat, that was my reaction too. I'm like, "Bitch, this is 3 hours long. What are you talking about?" So,
It's for a very excuse me. It's for a very specific clientele.
but I'm hooked. Just shoot it into my veins. El Chorazon says, "Finn, I'm picturing you with dreadlocks right now." So, by the
It's a safe
beach,
bet.
man. All right. Let's. We're gonna be reviewing a Netflix movie called The Killer, but before we get there, let's take care of our business.
What did we watch this week? Let us give you a peek. We'll get to the news real soon. First, listen to this little tune. Give us the attention we seek while we tell you what we watched this week.
Mine is quick and easy. The only thing I've watched movie related over the last couple of weeks is The Killer on Netflix, which we're reviewing. I take that back. I did watch It's a Wonderful Knife for a second time. I watched it with my daughter. So I did watch that, but other than that, nothing else. So you might even hear about It's a Wonderful Knife on Cutting Room Floor, which, if you don't know what that is, it's our Patreon show, which is available over at patreon.com/cinemachatpodcast. Dawson, what'd you watch this week?
A couple things. I watched Napoleon, which we were supposed to review this week, but Brent's too busy to go see a movie.
Well, I could have just came on here and been like, talk about it for 20 minutes and then say I didn't watch it. I could have done that. That's the new trend. I could have done that.
Yeah, let's keep doing that.
I have integrity, sir.
I watched that, and then yesterday I went to go see Godzilla -1 in theaters.
Oh, you went outside of the premium network. Your private screenings.
Yes, I went to go see that one no private screening for that one.
Woohoo.
Yeah, made a day out of it, and it was fantastic. So, I can't wait to review that on the show. It's awesome. It's one of the best movies of the year.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm excited. I'm excited for it.
And then outside of that, just some TV show stuff. What I watch, I'm watching Rick and Morty. I watched like 3 episodes of that today to catch up. Amazing Race, Survivor, the usual stuff over there. I don't know that I watched. I feel like there's something else that I watched, but I don't know. No, I can't. I don't think I watched anything else. I was busy all day Friday.
Yeah.
We were supposed to do a watch party on Friday, but didn't really work out.
Didn't turn
Nobody
out.
showed up.
Didn't turn out.
We're done. It's over. I'm done doing watch parties. No one shows up anymore. It's over, Johnny.
Well, we haven't done one in a long time, and that was sort of a test. That was a test.
No Smelly Melly or Lego. They're always like, let's have a watch party. They're not there. It's over.
You failed. You lose. Good day, sir.
Watch party 2020 to 2023, 3 years. RIP.
Oh, you want to watch?
You were talking about doing a watch party for the very movie that I literally just watched, which is this movie, based on Andy's recommendation. So that hurt my odds of making watch party. Although, whatever.
But yeah, in 2024, you want a watch party? Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Rob, did you watch anything this week?
I sure did. I saw Godzilla -1. I saw The Killer. I watched. My son wanted me to watch The Record of Ragnarok, which is like a anime on Netflix, and I also watched that new Scott Pilgrim anime. I forgot what the whole name of it is, but it's pretty cool. And Why is Netflix talking? And yeah, that's about it.
Okay, all right. Finn, what have you been watching lately?
Well, I watched the very movie we're here to discuss this week, which was very I don't want to call it a prerequisite, but it was conducive to me being invited onto the show because I was like, I saw this movie, and you're like, hey, why don't you come on and talk about it?
Yeah.
But I was trying to come up with, like, I was kind of racking my brain. I feel like I just watched garbage. You know, I watched football, I watched basketball, I did watch SNL, but nothing like any series related stuff that would be interesting to discuss. Although I just got reminded because I was looking at my DVR, like, did I watch anything while you guys were talking? I just got reminded that I think there's 3 episodes of the new season of Fargo out, which looks kind of interesting. So that might be on my list for after this, like get started with that. And there's another one coming out tomorrow night. So that'll be, you know, catch the first 3 and then catch up on the 4th one. I'm kind of excited to check that out. What's his name from Mad Men is the lead on it?
John Hamm.
And he looks like a jerk. So, but I don't know. It's Fargo.
He is a jerk.
Yeah.
He like injured people in college severely.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, and he was. I think wasn't he? He was in a fraternity and like some hazing stuff, and you know,
the claw hammer to the testicles.
Which is a shame because I kind of, you know,
I mean,
before all that, I was like, oh, he seems like an alright guy.
We did it once in college. It's happened once in college.
But I don't know. Like I'm caught up on the Invincibles, which I couldn't, or Invincible, which I couldn't remember. I think I watched that before this week, but I don't know. There's a lot I need to watch. Like I need to watch Loki, and I'm waiting for Andy to make a noise or look. Yeah, there it is.
Oh,
so good.
He's like, how could you not have watched it yet? You're missing everything.
You're missing incredible television.
So not a lot, I guess, other than if you don't count sports.
All right. Well, we certainly count sports, but you know, Timberwolves fans around here.
How?
You know, we're birds of a feather and whatnot. Caca and bullshit and shit. Dawson, did you put together movie news?
I did. There's not a lot this week, so it'll be quick.
Okay.
Cindy, the news is on.
Insightful.
Good news.
If the headline is big enough, it makes the news big enough.
Timely.
The news goes on for 24 hours a day.
Well prepared.
You like Huey Lewis on the news?
Well, I got some bad news for you.
Do you want the Aladdin news or the Aladdin news?
The Aladdin news?
This is movie news.
Super light week. There was a lot of trailers that came out. That's kind of a lot of the news. There's trailers for things like oh geez, what do we get? Fallout TV series on Amazon Prime. I'm excited for that. That looks pretty cool. We got a trailer for the new Godzilla X Kong, the new Empire. That's coming out in April. It's another team up movie between Godzilla and King Kong. We got The Boys season 4 trailer, which looked awesome. We got Halo season 2, which I think I'm the only person that's excited for that. We got the much anticipated trailer for George Miller's Furiosa, a Mad Max saga.
That looks fucking phenomenal.
Another one I don't give a shit about. The Mad Max Fury Road did nothing for me.
Oh god,
Okay.
that's an amazing movie. It's an amazing movie.
I loved it, but I get it. Sometimes there's just movies that everybody else likes that just don't do it.
So yeah, I mean we got a ton of trailers. There was CCPX or something like that.
CCXP.
CCXP. There was a bunch of trailers and stuff that got revealed there. But we got a trailer today for a movie called ISS, International Space Station.
I saw the trailer for that. Yeah, looks pretty good.
I don't know if you guys saw that. The premise is we got the International Space Station. There's U.S. and there's Russia, and they're flying over Earth, and all of a sudden they see nukes blowing up, down below, and they're like, "Oh, we get a phone call, and it's from the president of the United States," and he's like, "You have to take command of ISS at all costs." And they're like, "Well, we got orders. They got orders." So then they're trapped in the International Space Station, like kind of, it's suspenseful. Like, "Oh, we're not going to kill you. Don't kill us."
That's cool. Who's in that?
Ariana DeBois and Chris Messina.
Okay, Chris Messina. He's the agent from Air. Is that that guy?
Yeah, I think so. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know that there's anybody else, but it comes out next month, January 19th. So,
I like that premise.
Yeah, me too. I'm all in based on the description of it, at least.
Yeah, it looked like something I haven't heard of before. So there you go. That's kind of it on that side.
Can we just talk about the Godzilla X Kong trailer for a second? I watched it, and I told you all a few weeks ago, I don't really watch trailers on my phone anymore, which is how I primarily digest Twitter or ingest Twitter. And for whatever reason, I decided to watch that one. And we were talking about it in our DM. I like the idea behind it, but I really hope that that's not the final CGI, like the final effects, because there were multiple shots in that I feel like will take me out of the movie if that's what it looks like. There was some stuff that looked good. There was some stuff that looked good, but there were multiple shots in it where I was like, man, if that's what you're putting in the trailer, that better not be finished, because that does not look good.
It wouldn't surprise me if we have 4 months until that movie comes out in theaters, right? So like they work on movies to like a week or two before they ship or close, whatever. So
I feel like
it would not surprise me.
I feel like we said the same thing about the first Black Panther. Whenever we saw the trailers for that, and it was like, man, some of that CGI doesn't look good. Like, oh yeah, they'll fix it. They'll fix it. And they did not. They did not fix it. So, hopefully it looks good whenever it comes out, because the idea, what they did in the trailer, I like. I would be excited for that movie. The other Godzilla Kong movies that we got, fine. They were fine, I guess.
Yeah.
Like enough to make me want to watch another one, but not enough to where I'm like telling people they have to go watch them. Basically, is what I would say.
This was the one with the baby Kong.
Baby Kong,
was it not?
Yeah,
that's the only part of it that I'm not that excited about. I did like Kong Skull Island quite a bit, because I liked the world that it's in with all the other giant creatures and all that kind of stuff. That was enjoying to me. And it looks like it, from what I recall, it takes place kind of in that realm. But I don't, we'll see what happens with the baby Kong. But I'm just like, please don't throw in something so you can sell a collectible. Like, let's just have a,
I've seen a couple people call it Baby Kong, but whenever you first mentioned it, you called it Kid Kong, and that cracked me up.
Kid Kong. Whatever it is. King Kong, Kid Kong.
Kid Kong.
Diddy Kong.
Diddy Kong. Yeah,
Diddy
so
Kong Racing.
I'm relatively, my interest is peaked. I'll say that much with that.
I mean, if you haven't got enough Godzilla content, make sure you watch Monarch on Apple TV Plus. There's
another one.
4 episodes.
Yeah, that's another show.
I watched. I'm all caught up on that one now.
Is it good?
It's good. It's interesting because like the last episode had this monster that was gigantic, like it's big compared to humans, and he's got like all these face tentacles, and it doesn't like eat people or hurt people. It just like sucks out fire or blows cold. And this woman like defeated it by holding up a briefcase. Like didn't defeat it, but like she didn't die. She just put up like a briefcase from like 1945, and she was totally fine. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
There's nothing that instills more confidence than someone saying, "It's good. It's good."
That's what I heard.
Yeah, no,
good. It was like a warble. It's good.
It could be better. And like Godzilla hasn't been in it a ton. I kind of hoped he would.
I wish
be
there
in
was
it
some
more.
Godzilla in my Godzilla show.
No, don't say that.
Well, that's why it's called Monarch. It's like they're going back because they go back and forth with the Wyatt Russell and Kurt
Fucking
Russell.
Gotham. All
But
over
there's
again.
tons of giant monsters in it, right?
There's every episode.
Okay.
There's bigger.
Okay,
monsters.
then I don't have to have. I just hate monster movies where it's like you get 15 minutes of monster at the end, and and just like, hints of like shadow and noise and stuff for an hour and 20 minutes, and you're like, come on.
So you're 4 episodes in. Is it like a monster of the week type thing?
No, it's a continuing story. Like, because they're going back in time. Like Kurt Russell, when he was younger, his character Wyatt Russell, they stumbled onto all of this stuff, and you see the history of like Godzilla getting nuked, and that's how he got his powers or whatever. Because they tried to kill it with the nuke, and then you see him there, and you see him destroying here, and I don't know, you see monsters popping up. So like they're there, and then one episode ended on a cliffhanger with a monster, and then it picked right back up with that monster, and that was kind of the main thing.
Okay.
Throughout that week, I keep waiting for Godzilla to come in and like do something, but he's not.
Yeah, he just pops up like here and there in like a flashback, mostly. But we see like other stuff. I'm only up to episode 3 so far.
So yeah, I mean it's fine. It's whatever. It's part of Apple TV Plus. It's one of their shows.
I'm paying for it.
I always
might as well.
forget. Yeah, so am I. I always forget. I'm like, I don't have anything to watch, and then I talk to you guys, and there's like 15 things.
I know.
I
There's
haven't
just so many
watched.
things. There's so many things, and I just sit there for half an hour flipping through apps, and then I don't watch anything.
We need a Google sheet that people can go to whenever they don't have anything to watch. It's like watch.
I'd
this.
love that. I would love that.
We should put that together. Dawson, work on that.
It's only like we can make a website, and it's like, what should I watch this week? And here's all list of shows. There's hundreds of them.
Whentowatch.com.
Yeah, when to watch. Whattowatch.com. Okay, speaking of trailers, people like me have been waiting since before I had kids, basically since before I got married, for Grand Theft Auto 6 to come out. We have the trailer today. I know it's not really movie related, but those games are so big and so cinematic. It's basically a movie. It's so hot. But the big thing I'm getting at here is that comes out in 2025. 2025 right now is shaping up to be possibly one of the best years in entertainment, guys. We're getting Grand Theft Auto 6, getting the Batman 2, we're getting Avatar 3, Fantastic 4, Shrek 5, Superman Legacy, which James Gunn has said the script is 99.9% done, and that cast is loaded. We're also getting the live-action Minecraft movie starring Jason Momoa.
Okay.
Oh, geez.
That's got stinker written all over it.
Yeah.
To me.
You're not the target audience. It could be huge. Think of all the kids that gobble that shit up.
Smelly Melly's here. She said, God, that feels far away. Guess what? It's only 13 months away. It's not that far away.
I know, but like Grand Theft Auto's not coming out till the fall of 2020. It's 2 years away. And that hurts.
I mean, you've waited 13 years already.
Yeah, well, I know, but like, why show me something if you're not going to let me have it?
It's
Make me
called
wait longer.
Yeah, because no one's clamoring for it already. They've got to build intrigue, right?
Yeah, we've only been working on it for 12 years. Let's keep going. I don't know.
Isn't it a little late for the Minecraft movie? Like, wouldn't that be good like a decade ago?
Minecraft is still huge.
I know it's still huge. I just feel like I just remember the World of Warcraft movie that came out like 15, it seemed like forever after Warcraft came out and was big. And I know Warcraft even is still big and they have a new thing coming, but to me, for some reason, I feel like both of those are kind of missing the window. And I'm not even really understanding how you do a live action Minecraft movie. Like what is that going to look like? It's not going to be blocks, right?
Could be. It could be. You could do mixed what am I looking for? Mixed animation,
mixed media. It's reverse Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, Jason Momoa he falls into a hole. It's like Space Jam.
Space Jam.
Block Jam.
And everybody get up. Yeah.
It's time to dig now. Get out your pickaxe. We're going down. All right.
I'm gonna need Jason Momoa to show me something that doesn't flop, I think, before I buy into a
Have you
live
Well,
Minecraft movie.
Aquaman 2 is coming out soon.
That's what I'm. Yeah,
You haven't
Which-
seen Fast X, where he's fantastic in.
Aquaman 2
Well, you're-
is on pace to do like $40 million opening weekend. So that movie is already, it's DOA as far as
that's what I've heard.
Aquaman fucking did $1 billion, and this one's gonna do 40 million in its first week. So it's dead.
That's just the state. That's just the state of cinema, though.
It's over, Johnny.
I did see.
It certainly
I did see-
seems to be the state of superhero movies.
Well, it's the state of a lot of movies because I just saw something point this out. Like, the Marvels had a $200 million budget plus $100 million in marketing. It's going to end its run with like $200 million. It's considered a flop. A
Mm.
movie like Killers of the Flower Moon, $200 million production budget. There's no CGI in that fucking thing, and it's going to make like 80 million, and it's a success,
Ooh.
and it's going to be up for all these awards, and then the same thing with there was some other movie that just came out and it had like a $200 million budget. It's going to make less than $100 million at the box office, and it's considered like, oh, it's fantastic. It's a success. So it's only superhero movies that really get shit on for really being that big of a flop. And that's I think that's a problem of their own creating because they've been so like just massive $1 billion box office. I think that's their problem is like movies have had big budgets for a long time.
I think it's easier
And-
to point at those because there's so many that are, have been coming down the pike that people are like, this isn't going to do well. And then it doesn't do well. Whereas like Killers of the Flower Moon, that's one movie that's in a vast sea of other different types of movies. I don't know. I think it's easy to lump all the superhero movies together. Like, well, we're tired of that. Everyone's got superhero fatigue. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But you're right.
then-
Like, I don't even pay attention to what that movie did. I just know, oh, that's supposed to be good.
But like
I
something
mean-
like Oppenheimer is the biggest IMAX movie of all time now, and it's not a superhero movie. And
Right.
Well, there are 2 superhero movies in the top 4 for the year in box office. It's just
Well,
they're not
sure.
What-
they're not 1 and 2. They're 3 and 4, right?
Yeah.
But then you have several that didn't, aren't cracking the top 15, and
But
that's
I-
different.
I don't know what those numbers look like, but would those two that are in that top still be considered a wild success or just, they did okay?
Yeah, I mean they're still successful. Guardians of the Galaxy did 350
Okay.
million,
Mhm.
845 worldwide, and then Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse was 380 domestic.
Of course. Yeah. Okay.
So it's pretty successful, I would say.
but yeah, and those movies cost like 80 million to make or something like that. So
I wonder, even though it's not a fair comparison, how Rebel Moon is going to do with the state of like Star Wars and Marvel movies.
Well,
hard to say because
it's on Netflix.
getting like a week theatrical release, so it's not going to make box office money.
Yeah, it's not gonna make really anything probably. I mean, you
They're
think
probably,
of-
I think they're putting in theaters for like
Probably-
awards, like
probably a
costume,
weekend.
makeup, and sound, or whatever.
Are
You
we
know-
ever going to get the trickle down numbers that we should get from Netflix based on the deals that were struck?
No, it's all sealed. In theory, it's all sealed.
That's
they have
what I mean.
they
Like,
have to
it's
provide
quote
it.
unquote sealed, right?
Yeah, I mean, in theory we could, but there's nothing in there that says that they have to be publicly released. So
I mean, but still, I would still want them. I mean, I still think someone could get them.
But you hear their metrics, and it's like, I don't know what any of that shit means. Fucking Leo, the most streamed, whatever, blah blah blah. Like, this movie's the most streamed, west of the, what is it, north of the Mason-Dixon line? It's like they find whatever they can to make it the most streamed whatever of all time, or the
Right,
most streamed movie of the
Right.
year.
Just all,
or-
the parameters change. Like,
And it's like, I don't know what it means. I'm not sure what any of this is supposed to mean. I guess people are watching it. That's all.
I just love to get some idea if we could base what a successful Netflix release, if we had anything to just look at and say, okay, well, this cost this much and it streamed this much, so therefore it was great for them.
Yeah, it's hard to say unless they're like, we just gained 10 million new subscribers after this movie. They just say hours, like 30 million hours or whatever. 30 million households watch this.
That's what I read is their biggest decision on canceling a series, even if it's new. It's like they're looking for the bump of new subscribers after a new series gets released, and that is why if they don't see that, even if people liked the season 1 of something, they might ditch it like immediately, because that's their, according to what I was reading, that's like their big number they go for. Like, who's going to pay to watch this?
Yeah, it's that piece of it. And then another thing I know that Netflix specifically looks at are the number of people that drop off after episode 3. Like that.
Oh, yeah.
Episode 3 is like their magic number. If people go past that, they're interested. But if they drop off, it's like, okay, they gave it a shot and they don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
So they sort of, that's the 2 ways that I've heard, at least, because we don't really know. It's the 2 ways I've heard that they look at it. Are we getting more subscribers, and are people watching past episode 3? So, I don't know. It's weird. But they don't want us to know. That's very clear. They don't want us to really.
That's why I must know. I have to know.
It won't change anything, but I gotta know. Moving on. Like I said, there's not a ton of news. Spider Noir is that was a show that was being rumored to happen at Amazon. Amazon signed a deal with Sony to do Spider-Verse related projects. They had a couple in the works, like they're talking about doing Silk, and this Spider Noir, and that is going to happen. Amazon has greenlit it; they're moving forward, so there will be a live action, I guess, Spider Noir series. They could do it black and white.
It's live action.
I think so. I believe it's going to be live action. The thing, there's not a ton of info yet. It just says that Peter Parker isn't the main character, and I don't know enough about Spider Noir to know if his name is Peter Parker or if it's a different person. I can't remember from Into the Spider-Verse. But that's what they said. Peter Parker's not the main character. So
it is live action. You are correct,
yeah.
sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Looks like they've got the Punisher's showrunner as co-showrunner for Spider Noir. Interesting.
Yeah, and the only thing I can think of, if Spider Noir is if he's played by Peter Parker, I don't know. No, his alter ego is Peter Benjamin Parker. So it is Peter Parker. So unless they're saying like he's gonna be a background guy in the Spider Noir show, and then it's like he just pops in and like solves a case and then dips out. I don't know. That would be dumb.
That would be a whole nother level of what we were just talking about, right? If you titled the show Spider Noir and then he's like a background guy. That's like the next step beyond Gotham and Batman not being in it. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was kind of there.
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne.
I'm sorry, I don't want little Bruce Wayne. I don't want
what's his name? Jim Gordon.
Yeah. That's what I want. A police procedural with Jim Gordon. Give me that.
Hey, that show was not terrible. Okay. I've seen worse TV shows.
Wasn't that
I've also
the one
seen
where
worse TV shows?
You couldn't really, like, the cars were old.
You couldn't tell what time it was in. Yeah.
They had cell phones, but like the cars looked like they're from the 60s.
And they had like big CRT monitors in the fucking police station and shit.
Right. I remember having a conversation.
It's Gotham. They gotta have old cars.
It's its own thing.
Yeah.
Its own thing. Yeah, they have to have old cars because that's what they're doing in the movies now.
It just sort of picked and chose like what era certain things would be from, and then other things were from, it didn't. None of it really melded together that well. But I get it. That's what Gotham is in like that world.
Yeah, that's right. They had old cars in Batman the movie.
Yeah, but not in The Dark Knight.
Dark Knight was not this.
In The Batman with Robert Pattinson? Is that what you said?
What? No, like just Batman and like Batman movies, the 80s,
Yeah,
like the
yeah, the fucking the Joel Schumacher and Tim
Yeah.
Burton ones. Yes,
Yeah.
but that was
Yeah.
30 years ago.
Well, I'm
Wow.
even thinking of the cartoon was like that. The cartoon was
Yeah.
like the TV show
Yeah.
where they had old cars, but people had cell phones and all that kind of stuff. The cell phone part always seemed a little lazy to me because it was just sort of, you hear about cell phones in shows and how instantly everyone can talk to everyone, and it just kind of makes the writing easier. So it would have been interesting to see that world without cell phones, but whatever.
It's fair.
Yeah. So you know what? We're here. I'll stick with Spider-Man news. It's almost the end of 2023. There's words that come out, and Oxford said one of the top slang words for 2023 was canon event. So if you've seen Spider-Man, well, it's like, that's my canon event. So that was the kids these days are saying Riz and canon event.
I've heard Riz a lot. I don't think I've ever heard anyone use canon event in a
You're just
conversation.
not hanging
either.
out with the right kids.
Tell me what kids you're hanging out with.
When I'm at the bus stop in the morning, these kids are like, "Man, that was my canon event when I got kicked in the leg."
Man, you're not hanging around the right kids.
You don't have the best candy like I do. Yeah, so I guess that's a thing. I don't know. It's a very light news week. And now here's a picture of a cat or a squirrel riding water skiing. Look at him go. Look at the squirrel on the water skis.
Oh shit.
Last news story I have is from a man who tells lots of fibs and tales. Bruce Campbell of Evil Dead fame and Spider-Man says we're going to be getting new Evil Dead movies every 2 to 3 years instead of every 10 years now.
I mean,
I guess.
Honestly, that would make sense because that shit is not expensive and it does decent box office. Like, you're not going to lose money making Evil Dead movies. You're just not.
No,
I think it's
no offense to
impossible.
Bruce Campbell, but he's not making them, right?
He was a producer on the last
Yeah,
one.
he was executive.
Oh, was he?
producer.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm sure he's going to
Sam
make it.
Raimi involved at all?
I don't
think he was.
I don't think he was.
But I think he's going to show up in. I think Bruce Campbell's going to make an appearance in the next one. They hinted at it, and I think you could hear his voice on audio recording in Evil Dead Rise, but he wasn't there. So like that was his cameo. I don't know.
Yeah.
Bruce Campbell also has said that his character, the Pizza Papa from Doctor Strange Multiverse Madness, is the same character in Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man universe. Same guy. And we don't know who he is yet, but we're very close to finding out.
That's a lie.
I know, this fucking guy. Like, he posted a picture from him on set for Multiverse of Madness in like a Doctor Strange costume. Made everybody think he was going to be a Doctor Strange variant. He was just a fucking street vendor selling pizza balls. It's Pizza Papa. Thanks, Bruce Campbell.
All right.
That's all I have for news. I don't have much else. If anything. Thanksgiving is coming on digital platforms on December 19th, and Thanksgiving 2 is happening. It's official. It won't be out. That won't be out until 2025. Also, Brent. So
Barbie
Year of Entertainment.
Barbie's hitting Max on December 15th for anyone that didn't catch it, and then Saltburn, which we talked about in detail, and I won't repeat the word that Dawson doesn't want me to say on Cinema Chat.
It's a family-friendly podcast.
I'm not gonna say anything about cum whenever I talk about this.
Oh.
You can't say cum on Cinema Chat podcast.
I'm not. I won't. I'm not. I just said I'm not gonna say it.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. We talked about that. It's gonna be on Hulu, December 22nd, I think.
Amazon Prime's on Saltburn. Flip that down, reverse it. Wait, I'm Willy Wonka in it.
Yeah. It's Saltburn is on Amazon Prime, December 22nd. So right in time for the holidays, you can go watch.
Yeah. If you don't know what to watch with your family and your get together, just say, "Hey, the Cinema Chat said we should watch Saltburn together."
Saltburn is the
Brent-
perfect movie to watch with your mother.
Yeah.
Fire it up with
Anybody-
mom on the holidays.
Yeah. Hey, let's take a chance on this one. Sounds like a fun movie for the holidays.
Yeah.
Saltburn.
Saltburn. Go watch it. Report back.
When is the Barbie movie coming to HBO Max?
December
15th.
15th.
Okay.
But Saltburn, Rob. Saltburn.
Saltburn's
Amazon
the one.
Prime.
That's the move right there.
12/22.
Yeah.
Check it out. Watch the whole thing.
Barry Keoghan.
Well, I saw the trailer for that. So yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know if you do. There's a bathtub scene that's much talked about. All right, let's do some box office.
Box office.
Box office results for the weekend of December 1st through the 3rd, 2023. And guys, it is the year of the concert film because number one at the box office, Renaissance, a film by Beyonce, did $21.8 million. Number two, The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, $14.1 million. Number three, Godzilla -1, $11.4 million, which is the biggest opening weekend box office for a Japanese film in the United States. Number four, Trolls Band Together, $7.8 million. Number five, Wish, $7.7. And just behind that, a close number six, $7.2, Napoleon. Silent Night, the John Woo movie starring Joel Kinnaman, also debuted this week, $3 million. And I was excited about that because it's John Woo. That movie is getting some of the worst reviews from people I trust I've heard in a long time. So it appears that movie has almost no redeeming qualities, which is disappointing because it's John Woo's first American film in like 20 years.
20 years.
I was excited for that one.
I
Now,
wasn't.
I'm
glad
gonna-
it's getting shit on.
I'm still gonna. Wait, oh, wait, what? Why are you
That
glad?
pleases you?
Why are you glad it's getting shit on? I must know this thought process. I have to unlock something here.
Because I didn't have any. I didn't care. I didn't care if it was succeeded or not.
So if you
in my
don't
mind-
care,
Well, here's the thing. Because I don't give a shit about it, right? So I don't care.
You're validated
if
and
it-
you're not caring.
And if it did well, then everyone's like, "Oh man, you gotta see Silent Night. It's so good." No, I don't want to watch Silent Night. It looks stupid. And then I watch it, and then I'm like, "Yeah, this movie's ass." So that's why I'm glad.
Okay, so you're not going to be peer pressured into watching it now.
Yeah, no one's gonna be like, "Dude, you should watch this movie. It's really good," because it's not.
Okay, fair enough. I guess that checks out. All right.
Yeah.
Anybody have anything else they want to talk about before we go to a feature presentation? One.
I just wanted to. I forgot to mention before. What did we watch this week? My son and we watched the El Camino movie that's based on Breaking Bad.
Okay.
Nice.
And yeah, I got my son into watching the Breaking Bad, and he loved it. So he wanted to watch that before he started watching Better Call Saul. So he watched that this past weekend also.
Okay. All right.
How did you like it?
He loved it. He was glad that we got to watch it.
Rob, did you know they have an entire like shot for shot remake of at least the first season, but it was all different actors and it was all in Spanish?
For
Well, Breaking Bad.
Of Breaking Bad. Yeah, it was a whole like I watched it because I love Breaking Bad, and then it was the same thing, all different actors, exact same story, exact same everything, like scene for scene remake, but it was all different actors. I thought it was kind of interesting. I was like, maybe they could do more of this. It's kind of cool, and they didn't. I think they just-
Where was that?
It was on
presented?
Netflix for the longest time, and I believe it got taken down. I don't remember what it was called now. But it was the exact same story. Oh, Metastasis was the name of it.
That's odd.
So, yeah, Breaking Bad. The original events in the United States to Colombia. So I guess it was a Colombian.
Reggie.
But did they move it to Colombia, or did it take place in the same place as the original, or no?
I don't-
I don't remember. I don't because it had like I believe it was in
Like not
The
where
orig-
was it shot, more like where
Was it
you know what
it
I mean?
set in New Mexico or whatever the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah, it was
I
like
think so.
New Mexico.
I think it was, yeah. I think it was. It's been been almost 10 years since I've seen it.
That's wild.
Hmm.
But it was what is this? They have more up. Why is it saying this guy's got 62 up? Did they do more episodes? Oh, they did more. They did 62. They did, but here's the thing. Listen, guys. Listen. Here's the thing.
Linda, listen.
No. They have no. Here, I don't like horror. Season 1 has 33 episodes in it. So they did 62 episodes total, but they did one season and then they did a second season.
Why are there
They
so
did 2
many
seasons.
episodes?
It's Columbia.
Okay.
What?
All right. You got to cut it. You got to cut it up.
So I-
Is that-
So
out there.
It's Columbia.
what you're telling me, I don't know how, but like it's got more episodes in its season 1 than original Breaking Bad did.
They just
in
did the
its
whole season
1?
in 2 seasons.
They did the whole series in 2 seasons.
Whole series in 2 seasons. Because like
Oh, I see.
I'm looking at IMDb right now, and the last episode that's for Walter Blanco. That's his name. His name is Walter. That's not me being funny. His name is Walter Blanco. The last episode that he's credited in is called Ozymandias, which is the last episode in Breaking Bad. Oh,
Okay. Show title: Walter Blanco, please. All
just
right.
saying that's his name.
Interesting. Okay. Let's get into our feature.
What do you think Saul Goodman's name is in this episode version?
Saul Bueno.
Saul Bueno. You fucking nailed it. His name is Saul Bueno.
I was trying
Saul
to think of
Goodman.
what how you would say good man.
Me too. I just got the Bueno part.
That's what it was. Saul Bueno. That's all they left it as.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah, that reminds me that they announced that they're doing a Mexico spin-off of The Boys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All
What-
right.
I mean,
So,
just
look
like
forward to
a
that.
new, not The Boys like this shot in Spanish, but
No, it's
in-
called The Boys
it's
Mexico.
like and that is that on like
Yeah.
going to be like on Amazon Prime? Like, hey, this is a spin-off, but the location's Mexico. Like
Yeah,
different heroes,
Exactly.
different. Okay.
yeah, different heroes, different story. Yeah, the thing is, they said it's gonna be like more hardcore because like in Mexico, like they can get away with more, crazy shit. So
Oh, in the world, I see. Okay, because I was like more hardcore because it got pretty hardcore in the Boys.
All right. Well, that was a trip down a side street that I wasn't expecting to take. But now we can get into our feature presentation. Good job, guys.
And now, our feature presentation. This is what it takes. My process is purely logistical. If I'm effective, it's because of one simple fact. I don't give a
For what it's worth, I would never have involved your female friend.
forbid empathy.
Please.
Trust no one. Fight only the battle you're paid to fight. Breathe. Breathe. Calm.
Prepare to be excited.
This is what it takes. If you want to succeed.
The Killer. written by Alexis Nolant, Luke Jacquemont, and Andrew Kevin Walker. Directed by David Fincher. Starring Michael Fassbender, Tilda Swinton, Charles Parnell, and a whole bunch of other people. Is Charles Parnell kin to Chris Parnell? Do we know? I don't think he is.
It's the only other Parnell I know, but I don't know that.
Well, I don't think they are. Who? Charles Parnell, the black guy in the movie. His name's Charles Parnell. I was asking about Chris Parnell from Saturday Night Live. A white guy.
Oh, okay.
Chris.
I was
Andy
like, are you getting
Samberg.
that mixed up with Chris Cornell, the singer for Soundgarden?
No, the Chronic of Narnia guy. Yeah. I digress. This is a Netflix movie. Obviously, it was in theaters. Actually, it was only in foreign theaters, I think. I don't think it had a domestic run. And I was excited whenever I heard that David Fincher was doing a movie for Netflix with Michael Fassbender, because I, generally speaking, love David Fincher's movies. He almost always hits it for me. So to hear him doing something with Michael Fassbender, I was all in on it, sight unseen. And then I saw the trailer. The trailer looked good. And yeah, I was excited for this one. So Finn, I think Dawson told you about this. Was it already on your radar before he told you, or
It
what?
was sort of, but not like Andy specifically said, I think you're going to really like this movie. And that's when I watched it. I knew it was out there and it was just kind of like, yeah, I'll probably watch this eventually. But based on that recommendation, I'm like, yeah, Andy's probably got a pretty good beat on, if he's specifically saying not it's a good movie, but you're going to like this movie. He was right about that.
Well, and we know
And
that
and the same thing, dude. Like I'm a fan of Fincher movies as well. So I'm like, well, and I like Fassbender, so that's, probably right.
Well, you also tend to really like, and let me know if I'm speaking out of school here. You like assassin movies, particularly like The Calculated Assassin, or even like the borderline autistic assassin. I think you've talked about
The Accountant.
Liking.
I love The Accountant.
Movies like that.
I love. Yeah, this is one of those movies. Like, find me documentaries about cults, right?
Yeah.
Find me
Yep.
submarine movies.
Check.
Find me assassin movies that take themselves pretty seriously. Not that I don't like John Wick movies, but not John Wick, more this type of,
You want a realistic assassin.
more realistic. Yeah. So this was right up my alley.
You want to see the guy that's you're interested in the guy that's prepared for everything that's about to go down and has a plan. You want the plan.
Well, and
assassin.
I want the behind. This was perfect because I want to know what makes this guy tick.
Yeah.
And you got all of that. Like,
Yep.
that was half the movie, was finding out what this guy's all about.
All right, Rob, where were you at heading into this?
I liked Michael Fassbender. I didn't know anybody else was in it. So I was interested in checking it out just because, like, I like, like the Jason Bourne and the John Wick movie kind of stuff. So I thought it was going to be similar to that kind of deal. So, that's why I was down to check it out.
And Dawson, you were the first person that I knew that watched this. I was excited about it, but I did not watch it as soon as it came out. So you jumped right on it.
Yeah.
I assume you were kind of pumped to watch it potentially.
Yeah, I mean, all you had to say was David Fincher and Michael Fassbender. It's pretty much all I needed to hear to know.
Mhm.
It could have been about anything. But then you toss in that he's an assassin. It's okay.
Yeah.
Let him cook.
I mentioned a couple weeks ago that I just rewatched The Social Network for the first time in a long time, and yeah, it just reminded me how much I like David Fincher movies.
Yeah,
That's
they're
a
all pretty good.
I mean, well, let me take a little sidebar here. Let's go through his bigger movies.
He's got music videos.
Oh, he's done a shit ton of music videos.
He's done like 70 music videos.
Yeah, I need director. That's what I need.
Now that's what I call music 7.
Yeah, he's most famous for doing the Seven movie.
Yes,
yeah?
Seven.
What else?
How about a little thing called Fight Club? I think he's a little more famous for that one, no?
Mhm.
Isn't that his? Yeah.
Yeah, column A, column B. The Social Network, Gone Girl, which I think people sleep on. Zodiac.
Good, really good movie.
Yeah. Oh, he did Panic Room. I kind of forgot that he did that.
Mm.
I like that movie. I don't think that's one of his better movies, but I like it. Yeah.
The
I mean,
Game. You ever
he
seen The
dir-
Game?
He directed The Game with Michael Douglas?
What it says right here. Yeah, it's got
Yeah.
the poster. Yeah,
I don't think I knew that.
7.
Curious
Alien
Case-
3.
The Curious Case of Benjamin Button?
Yeah.
The girl with the
pass.
dragon tattoo.
You know what? I've never seen that.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a good watch.
I've never
Worth
watched
your
it.
time if you're a fan.
I am a fan.
Daniel Craig is in it.
I mean, of his. you
Why
know.
did that never get the other movies? Why did it just stop at that one? Because they were supposed to do
They've
more
made
of those.
they reboot it or something? Because I know there's something similar to that movie. I think it's the same thing. The girl, because
Well, he executive produced The Girl in the Spider's Web, which I thought was, yeah, it is. It's another one of those movies, but I don't think he directed it.
no,
But yeah,
Says
there's
here-
been at least a few of them, right?
yeah. So I think they did make more, but I don't. It's like a soft reboot or like a James Bond thing where they switch characters. I don't know.
Where they switched
Well,
I
actors.
haven't seen the second one.
They base it off the Swedish movies, and then the one that he started with was like the U.S. version, and then they went from there. So there's like 3 or 4 Swedish girl dragon tattoo movies, and then they remade them a U.S. English version.
Okay. All right. So yeah, basically we were all sort of on board with this movie before we started watching it. Right off the bat, whenever I'm getting the narration from Michael Fassbender should narrate some fucking documentaries. He's got a captivating voice, I think. I was all in on this narration aspect of the movie, and I don't always like a narrator, but there was just something about it, and that's something Fincher does a lot, actually. You know, I'm going through those movies we were just mentioning. You know, there's like 3 or 4 of those that have a narrator aspect to them. So,
Fight Club.
yeah, maybe that's something he does more than I realize it. But yeah, I was all in on that, and I think Michael Fassbender, like I said, he should be narrating fucking nature documentaries or some shit.
Do you think it would have been better if he used his English accent versus his American accent? Because when I hear him speak, it reminds me of the character he played in the Prometheus movie, where he did that low, slow way of talking, and maybe he did that intentionally because his character is kind of like emotionally monotone. So I don't know. I would have liked to maybe have heard him do it in his regular voice.
It didn't bother me whatsoever, but also let me just say there's nothing on this planet or in existence anywhere that would make me think twice about Prometheus. That movie has been wiped from existence in my brain. Don't give a shit. Don't think about it. Don't remember anything about it at this point. I just remember I hated it and I don't want to think about it again. So
Well, he was the best thing in that movie. by far. I mean, to me anyway. I'm not a huge Prometheus fan.
I feel like my
I brought it up because I know Fan talked about it on the last Venture show when you guys were talking about this movie.
What did I say?
That you said that he was the best part of Prometheus.
Oh yeah. But I mean, that can be said for almost every movie he's in.
Well, that's what I was just getting ready to say. I think he's always the best part of almost every movie that he's in.
Yeah.
I think people think he's a good actor, but I don't think people appreciate him for what he is actually. And I don't know if that's because he doesn't get the chance to really chew on things. You know, he doesn't always take roles that give him the best part. You know, I feel like he is selective, but I feel like he takes odd roles sometimes. And I feel like if you really gave him something to show what he had, he would fucking knock it out of the park. Like Oscar level performance.
Did you watch Steve Jobs?
No, I didn't, actually.
Did you watch Assassin's Creed?
There's
I didn't see that.
Much like nothing could make me think of Prometheus, there's nothing you could say that would make me watch Assassin's Creed.
I'm probably in that boat, honestly.
Did you watch Next Goal Wins?
Not yet, but I will. Hold on, Dawson. Did you watch Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the.
I watched
games.
it. That thing was dog shit.
I like the games too, but that movie looked, as Reggie would say, horribad.
Yeah, well, there's times that you have to commit to actors that you like.
Well, much as Brent says he makes interesting choices, like he does make choices on movies that I would not pick if I were him, nor do I necessarily want to watch those movies. But even for the bad movies that he's in that I do watch, he is the best part in a bad movie, like we were saying. But I don't know. I'm looking at Next Goal Wins, and I saw the trailer for that. Like, that doesn't really excite me too terribly much. I don't know. I'm looking at his list here of stuff. I mean, he was Magneto in the X-Men movies, which I thought was the best part of those movies quite often, you know. Yeah. But yeah, he takes some weird things. Like, he doesn't take roles where it's like, this is definitely going to be an Oscar contention if, you know, you pull this off. He doesn't even, it seems like he doesn't care about that.
Yeah. You know, I don't know his entire filmography, but I respect that he's out there doing it. I'm not going to watch all of it. I am not going to watch Assassin's Creed.
He was in Band of Brothers. I'm going to have to find him in that.
It's not good. That movie's not good, Dawson.
Great actor.
This is some Blair Witch Book of Shadows trolling level right here. That's what you're doing here.
But here's the thing. Those didn't have Michael Fassbender in it.
You're right. It had Jeffrey Donovan in it. And you tried to sell that shit. So, well, I mean, I guess Assassin's Creed has Michael Fassbender going for it.
That's right. That's right.
Do you think that's what it is? Like, do you think he kind of just takes whatever he wants, or do you think he's got a bad agent, or like, what is it? Like, why doesn't this guy have like 5 Oscar nominations over this history of movies and in good movies?
Yeah, I feel like it's got to be he doesn't care. I think he just does what he's interested in.
I mean, that seems to be it.
Because I think even with a bad agent, the talent shines through. And I think people would find a way to get him in their movies if they wanted to. If he was interested.
He was in Jonah Hex. I don't know if you guys remember that movie.
Jesus Christ.
Not a good movie. Not good.
Wow. Okay. All right. Did not remember him in that.
I don't either, but I remember how bad that movie is. He's like 4th listed.
That might have been
a decent part.
You know, that might be before I really knew who he was.
2010. He was in Haywire with Gina Carano.
You know? I did.
I watched that movie.
But I mean, I understand why a lot of people watch that movie. I'm just saying these aren't exactly the roles that you look at and say, wow, good actors take these parts. You know?
No, I know. And that's interesting to me that someone that I feel like is an Oscar caliber actor just doesn't seem to give a shit about any of it. I don't know. I mean, I don't know why.
I don't know.
But it does.
I mean, he's been
appear.
nominated twice.
Has he?
He's been nominated once for best performance in an acting leading role for Steve Jobs,
Okay.
and nominee for Oscar in 2014 for best supporting role in 12 Years a Slave.
Okay, that
He's
was
got
the other one I
two
thought.
nominations, but like that still seems
I-
pretty light.
It seems
Well-
it seems light, but the Steve Jobs one was one that I think you could look at and say, oh, someone could get a nomination out of this. Like if they, because it's such a meaty part, interesting character.
Did that come out like right around the same time as? There were two of them, right?
Which one?
2015.
The Steve
was
Jobs?
the one
Yeah,
he was.
There was an Ashton Kutcher one too,
Yeah,
and they were right around the same time, weren't they?
similar. Yeah, like probably 6 months or a year apart.
Yeah.
I mean, this one was Michael Fassbender. This is the Steve Jobs he was in. Fassbender, Kate Winslet, Seth Rogen, Jeff Daniels. It wasn't like it was him and nobody. Opposite of Kate Winslet, you're at least in the tent with other actors that can put on an Oscar performance. Oscar-worthy performance.
It was a good movie. He put on a great performance.
I don't even know if I watched this. I
It's
think
good.
I
I
did
mean,
watch
it's
the other
a
one.
good movie. People just don't care about it because it's Steve Jobs. I don't.
Yeah, I
It's a
haven't
really
seen
good
it.
movie. He does. It's. I mean. It's kind. I mean, it kind of feels like a social network type movie, right? Like.
Mhm.
I think what happened was that the Ashton Kutcher version came out first, and people were like, "Well, I don't have to see it again with a different actor," kind of deal.
I feel like that's the case with me. Like I watched it once and I was like, I don't need to watch Steve Jobs ignore his daughter, his flesh and blood daughter again.
This one is way more that. This one's way more his personal, him being an asshole type of thing. So I mean,
I like that. He's like, I don't need to watch this piece of the story, and you're like, that's all. That's exactly what.
Yeah,
this movie
that's
is.
what it
that's a lot of what this movie is him being a dick.
Oh, okay. Well, let's talk about what the killer is.
Oh yeah, this is not Michael Fassbender Appreciation Night.
That's right.
I mean, it could be though, because that's. I would say 70% of what I like about this movie is Michael Fassbender, and the other 30% is Fincher. And honestly, there's not a lot else in here. You get a scene with Tilda Swinton. You get a scene with a couple of actors, Tilda Swinton, Charles Parnell, but the bulk of the movie is all Fassbender. And this is basically a one-man show with a couple of people thrown into other scenes. And I think he did everything he needed to with this. And even whenever the other people show up, Tilda Swinton is great in her scene. Charles Parnell, I liked what he did. He had a line in this that I meant to pull, and I'm gonna try to go back and get it. But Michael Fassbender does something with a nail gun, and he looks at me and goes, "Now that's just childish." And I was like, "I need that clip. I need that." I thought it was so perfect. But yeah, I mean, it's not often do you get a movie that is so heavily reliant on one actor. And it's not Castaway level, but I mean, if you go back and watch this movie and really think about it, what is he, 80% of the screen time probably?
Probably more than that.
There's barely anybody else in this movie. I mean, there is, but there isn't. It's him.
Yeah. And whenever he's not on screen, he's narrating. So it's interesting.
Yeah, I also like that they kind of like hopped around to different locations, which was really cool. So that way we weren't like stuck in the same place for the whole movie.
Well, I also liked whenever they do that, and this is much like Finn was talking about earlier. I like this in like an assassin movie where they show the planning. They show the fucking lockers that he has all over the place and all the stuff that he has stored and how he, even down to the license plates and fucking the bags with guns and money that he has in each one of his storage units and shit. I'd like seeing this world that he's built with his preparation. I like
all of his
seeing that.
past.
Yeah.
All of his passport names are sitcom stars from the 70s and 80s. So like Charles Cunningham from Happy Days.
They had George Jefferson.
Archibald Bunker. Archie Bunker.
Yeah, Archie Bunker. Yeah.
Sam Malone. Yeah, I mean, like, you got it right away. But there was even one that I had to look up because it was like the dad from the Partridge Family, which I never watched in my life. And I was like, which one's this one? I had to like go later and check. But all of that world building was what I'm really here for it. As a friend would say.
And I'm really here for it.
Yeah.
There he is.
Even when he's not here, he's here. Yeah. So Dawson, what's shining out for this movie for you? Like, what are you looking at that really pulls you in?
I mean, there's a lot of cool things that I like about this movie. So I'm not gonna spoil anything, but like the assassin aspect of it, just from a cinematography piece, when he is in the zone, the camera is dead, it's locked, it's smooth, and then when something goes wrong, it is just like it's chaos on the camera. There's a scene where he gets like attacked unknowingly, and the camera juts one way, like thinking he's gonna go that way, and then the camera, like almost like the cameraman's doing a double take, like what happened? So there's just like little David Fincher moments throughout this movie which are really, really cool. And it's like it's funny. There's there's moments in here where I'm laughing and I don't know if I'm supposed to laugh, but I feel like him getting tackled, like him getting attacked, or
I think that says something about you.
Well, I'm not saying it's the
funniest movie since Joker.
But there's stuff in here that it's like, okay, I can see it's kind of comedic from a filmmaker standpoint, or like even the opening 20 minutes, right? Like it's him setting up for this hit he's got to do, and he's like he's like, you think he's gonna go through, it's like he's got this thing, he's gonna do this, and then it's like, oops. So I mean, it's just that's some of the moments where it's like, oh, that's kind of funny.
Back to the fight scene that you were just talking about with the camera movements. Whenever that started, I was like, "Oh no, they're doing the fucking Bourne shaky cam shit." And then pretty quickly I realized that it was very intentional with the movements.
Yes.
It was not just shaky cam to hide bad choreography or whatever. It was intentional, it was to emphasize some of the hits, to emphasize the movements, and not necessarily to hide things, but accentuate, which was interesting. And it sort of caught me off guard to a point where I was like, oh, why is he doing this? He hasn't done this. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I like that. So that was something that also stood out for me. And just, I love seeing a plan come together, but I also love seeing a plan fall apart.
Yeah, that was my favorite scene.
And you get that. I love a getaway scene. I love a getaway scene, and how they've got this shit planned out and they're dumping shit and taking turns and GTA 6ing away from police and shit. I love that.
Yeah.
So that was dope. Like, that's the stuff that I'm here for, really. Ultimately. I love Fassbender, but that's not really what I came to this for. I came to this to see plans executed and plans fall apart. I like seeing the planning. I think that ultimately in an assassin movie, that's my favorite part. Seeing how prepared these calculated people are, because it's so unhuman.
I agree. There's a lot of that.
It's not a normal person, clearly, and they are, I mean, sociopathic, whatever, but they're detached.
Well, to mention another movie that I got I brought, or one of you was bringing up, but I agree with, which was the type of movie. It's not The Accountant. That's not what this movie is. But there's a moment in The Accountant where he goes into his storage facility for the first time, and he goes into his trailer, and you get to see in this trailer like all of his passports, all of his money, all of his stuff, you know, and that moment you kind of get like, oh my god, look at how prepared this guy is. Like all of his stuff's here, everything's planned out, everything's ready for like a 5-minute getaway. And the moments that you get in this movie like that are just as good, and I think way better, you know, where you get a little peek behind the scenes of how prepared he is, and he talks about his, you know, I don't want to go into give all the details, but he goes into like his process and what he's got set up later on in the movie, and you're like, whoa, you know, that's how seriously this guy takes it. And he's narrating from the very beginning. You're hearing him talk about his rules, like, you know, only do the job that you're paid to do, and you know, and on, all these things that come into play in the movie. But yeah, the whole A to Z of him, I could watch 5 more of these, you know. I still was like wanting to find out more about what's going on with him in his life by the end.
Rob, what about you?
Yeah, I really dug the like the fight scene we were just discussing, and also the destination hopping that we did. The one thing, and it's and it's only probably nobody else is gonna notice this, but because they have they go to the Dominican Republic, they go to New York City, and they go to Florida. I happen to know those areas very well, and there was some disparities in those scenes that I noticed, and it kind of like took me out of that because I do know those areas pretty good, and I was like, should I count that against the film, or am I being a little bit too strict on it? But yeah, it was very enjoyable. Like I mentioned before, I like Jason Bourne films and the John Wick films, and like any of these you know, like The Professional, where you know you see like a hitman, like how detail oriented they are, and how much planning goes into their contracts and whatnot. And I think Michael Fassbender really pulled it off, and that's why I really enjoyed it. And I like you, Brent. I do like when things don't go according to plan, and then the guy has to like you know, he was actually narrating. He says, "Don't improvise," and then he would have to, when shit hit the fan, he would have to improvise and see how it turned out. But yeah, I think, you know, for a movie that's like 2 hours, and it went by pretty quick. I think I didn't even notice how fast it went by until like it was almost finished.
Yeah.
So I think the pacing was really good, even though like some people have mentioned that it's kind of a slow burn in some parts. Like I didn't really notice that at all, because I was, you know, literally like taking in like every moment that was going on. So like I really enjoyed it.
When you're invested, runtime doesn't matter. I mean, really. I could watch a 4-hour movie if I'm fully invested. It's just I feel like so often whenever movies get long, it's because they've put in extra shit that doesn't need to be in there. But if I'm invested and it's moving along and I care about what's going on, I can watch a 4-hour movie no problem. You know, it's all about the quality.
Ultimately. I think in this movie, as Andy was saying about the first 20 minutes, I think the first 20, 30 minutes is make or break for if you're going to get into this movie and get through this movie, because that first 20 minutes, 30 minutes especially, it's all Fassbender. Like, I bet you could count the amount of dialogue from someone else on one hand, like a phone call or something. Mm-hmm. And so you're kind of either eating that up or not. But that was the part for me that explained the details of what kind of assassin movie this is going to be. Again, not to harp on John Wick, because I like it. I especially like the first couple. But this is the type well, watch from Andy's shaking his head at me, but this is where I'm going with this, Andy.
Well,
so,
like, the fourth one's the best. But.
Well, it's just a different kind of movie. It's not. It's way more of a fantasy than I think this movie feels like it could be more of a reality movie if these guys exist.
Yes.
Where, they're not flipping gold coins to a secret hotel where everyone can stay and all this stuff. That's great. That's just different. So this guy Fassbender in this movie, in the first 20 minutes, he's talking about like, hey, there's cameras everywhere and you're not going to be able to get away with not being seen. So just don't be noticeable. Like, try to be as ordinary as possible. And he goes into how he's like, I based my character on a German tourist because nobody wants to talk to a German tourist. Like, he's just kind of being as inconspicuous as he can, knowing that there's no way to be invisible. Like, he goes to McDonald's because they serve 4 billion people or whatever. And he's like, easiest way to get 10 grams of protein is go the same place as everybody else. And he gets an Egg McMuffin, takes the bun off of it, eats the ham and the egg, and that's breakfast. Even the food he eats in this movie is all like, like everything's kind of planned out, and every single time he touches anything, he's got the gloves on. Like, it's meticulous in its preparation. And I would say the same thing as Rob. I especially like the first couple Bourne movies. Maybe not the last couple as much, but those first couple were also in this kind of wheelhouse for me, with just what happened and then the amount of training that kicks in and all this stuff. But you really do have to get past that first, and it's not, for me, it was a joy, but that first 20 minutes when he is just completely by himself and it's all internal monologue. If you're unable to process that and you're like, dude, where's the car chase? I've been here for 15 minutes. There's no car chase. There's no shooting. Like, what the hell kind of assassin movie is this? If you can't get past that, then you're not going to, it's not the movie for you. Because those are the parts where people will say, way too slow, pacing was off, but that's not what this is. There is fast stuff in it, but it's not made to be, 100 miles an hour from the beginning to the end. It's just its own thing.
Yeah, I would agree. If you don't get through the first 20 minutes, like if you're struggling to get through that, just go ahead and turn it off. I don't think you're gonna. While it does speed up, I don't think you're really gonna care too much for it. So that's a pretty good litmus test. Can I also say Michael Fassbender throws a Molotov cocktail with accuracy of which I've never seen before in a human. That was a fantastic throw that he had there. Just amazing.
I mean, he's a professional assassin.
I mean, I remember the same thing, and I'm like, I could buy that. Like, I'll buy that. He probably has spent weekends just throwing bottles, full of gasoline in some empty field just to be as accurate as possible. Like, he feels like he would do that.
That was a great throw. Great throw.
Yeah, and that was a big ass bottle too.
Yeah, he goes and buys a 40, and you're like, why are you buying this 40? And then
yeah, me too.
Kind of start like all the stuff that he puts on there. You're like, I know you're not going to sit in a car and drink a 40, bro. Like, what's going on? And you find out.
A 40 ounce of Old English.
That's right, oldie.
I don't really have much else to talk about. Do you guys have anything you wanted to get in before we wrap it up? Because we're already an hour 15 probably.
Just that I could watch a bunch more of these. Like, I could watch these, if the stories are as good, and it's handled as well, I definitely can see why it's not for some people. But yeah, for me, it's like I was left wanting to know more about everything about that world.
Yeah. No, I would be all in on sequels. Fincher doesn't really do sequels, so I don't
Yeah.
think we'll get another one of these. If we do, maybe it'll go the girl with the dragon tattoo route. Maybe that's why he didn't do it. Maybe he's just like, fuck sequels. I'll produce it. So let someone else.
This is
do
based
it.
on a graphic novel, and I don't know if that has more.
Oh, is it? I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yep, that's right.
Okay.
It's based on a French graphic novel.
Today we are here to kill
To
everyone.
talk about the killer.
Rob, Dawson, anything before we get out? Also, hold on 1 second. I gotta.
Isn't that crazy?
And that's a fact.
That's a fact.
It was a fact. We gotta get back on the fact train, Dawson.
There's a lot of trivia in this one, but I don't know that any of it really matters. This is the second film in David Fincher's 4-year exclusive deal with Netflix.
Ooh.
You can
What's
go
the
see
first one?
Mank
Mank?
on Netflix 2020. Mank. This is Michael Fassbender's first film in 4 years following X-Men Dark Phoenix.
It's been 4 years since he did a movie.
That's what I said. I read that earlier. I was like, holy shit.
What is he doing?
That's a fact.
Back there.
Wow.
In 2008, Brad Pitt was tied to the role of the killer, but Brad Pitt said the role was a little too nihilistic for him, so he did not.
Perfect for Fassbender though. Like I agree. Like I don't know who else I could see doing this role as well. I'm sure there are people, but I could see Brad Pitt, I guess, but I could see why Brad Pitt wouldn't want to take it.
Huh.
Yeah, we don't know how long this has been sitting on the shelf, do we?
It's been a project for 20 years. He's been thinking about doing it, but they just filmed
Like, when did they start filming this?
Oh, last year, probably. I don't
Oh,
know.
I thought...
don't have facts to back this up.
You're right. The killer rarely blinks in this movie.
I like that. Yeah.
I
could watch this again right now and
Ben,
just watch for those things.
If you're gonna watch it, maybe try doing it on an iPad or a phone or something like that with headphones, because in the opening scene, music plays on one side, just like in Baby Driver.
Oh, you know what? I watched it with headphones, and I did notice that. And that was another thing I liked about this movie. He only listens to the Smiths in the entire catalog of music in this movie. Maybe not during fast chase scene or something where they have something else playing, but him in the movie only listens to the Smiths exclusively. And you never really
had a Morrissey song in there, didn't they?
I would have to check, but
so.
I don't think so. I want to say it was just the Smiths, because if they did, then they snuck that in, and I didn't. I'm not like the biggest Smith, guy in the world or whatever, but I'm pretty sure it was just the Smiths.
It was.
Yeah,
and Ben, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that was another thing I wanted to mention, that I also like the soundtrack, because like the Smiths and the Cure and the Depeche Mode, like that's my jam, from back in the day.
Okay. Well, it's good. It's good to know. There was different songs and genres considered for the playlist for the killer, but Trent Reznor ultimately pushed for the Smiths because he and David Fincher all found it funny.
Fun fact I just learned recently.
All of it worked, like that, and the names on all of his credit cards being, sitcom 70s and 80s sitcoms. There's all these little, I don't know, subtle things in there that added together you don't really get answers for, and that's why I still want to know more. Like, why is it just the Smiths? That's all you listen to. Why the 70s and 80s sitcom stars, etc. Like, what's, I want to see like an origin story of like, this is where I got that, this is where I got this. So
I also like scores by Atticus Ross and Trent Reznor. I feel like they always do a pretty good job. And I don't know that I don't know when the first time was that Trent Reznor scored a movie. I think the first time I noticed was The Social Network. I mean, I think he has a really good ear for it. Like, very talented. Very talented.
Yeah, he's done a bunch of stuff.
Very, very talented.
He composed the first thing that he composed
was
was
Paddington Bear over here.
He did Quake the video game.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Like OG Quake?
Yeah. You know, Joe Rogan did that. But his first movie that I think the first movie he did was The Social Network. I don't see anything else. It's a bunch of music videos and short films.
Yeah. Well, he's really good at it. Really.
If you like that, listen to The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. He's also on that.
Yeah, I don't know if he does all of Fincher's movies, but he's done a lot of Fincher movies.
Gone Girl, Patriots Day, In Time,
Patriots Day.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem.
Dude, that movie's fucking sick.
Mid-90s, Bird Box.
All right. Okay, Dawson.
Watchmen, the TV show. Yeah, there's lots of good stuff.
All right.
Mank.
I like it. Okay, let's give some scores and get out of here. Finn, as the guest, I will allow you to go first.
I was bouncing around, and I think I'm just going to settle on an 8.5 for me. It's definitely more for me than it would be for a lot of people. I could have busted that up to a 9, but you know, there were things that I could complain about, but they're very minor. To me, I definitely could watch it again.
Yeah. I mean, I'm on a 9. I'm a 9.
No kidding. Okay.
Yeah, I think this is no pun intended. This movie's killer. It is awesome. I loved it. There's I would like to have had maybe a couple of, you know, that first scene, the 20 minutes where he's setting up for the assassination. I feel like I would like another scene like that. We get a couple of other times where he's plotting, but I like the long drawn out scene with the preparation. I like that, and I kind of understand why we don't get another one, but I feel like that would have gotten that, for me personally, that would have taken it up a notch. But it's a really, really great movie. I would recommend it to anyone that likes assassin movies specifically. It's awesome. 9 out of 10. Rob, what about you?
Yeah, I really liked it. I liked the movies. I mean, I like the soundtrack. I think Michael Fassbender was really good. Like I mentioned before, I would have liked to have him use his regular English accent versus his American accent. There was something in the initial scene where he's like setting up for his when he was doing the setup that kind of like bugged me, but I'm not going to spoil it. And also what I mentioned before about when he went to New York and Dominican Republic, there was some continuity errors that I caught that kind of like threw me out of the film. Yeah, I'm with Finn. I would like to see more of this. If they do like a prequel or something, I think that would be really cool. And I'm also going to give it an 8.5.
Okay. Dawson, bring us home.
Yeah, we have 2 and 2 for our scores here. I'm gonna give it a 9 also. I really enjoyed this movie. It was great. Everything we've all said we liked about it. Fassbender's great. Fincher's great. Soundtrack's great. So, yeah,
Okay.
I'm here for it. I love it.
2 9s.
I kind of want to change to a 9. I don't want to be disingenuous, but I was afraid of like, I just watched it this week and I kind of want to sit with it a little longer.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's
I
more than
said
enough time.
But you watched it. Did you watch it twice, Finn?
No, I just watched it once.
Oh, okay.
I said, I mean, I could watch it again, absolutely. Because it's the type of movie that I love. I just didn't want to oversell it, but call mine an 8 point. Yeah, call mine a 9.
Yeah, you can change it.
I was torn. I was kind of right in between there.
I mean, we let each other pull us a half a point all the time, so that's fine. Yeah,
I'm a 9er.
3 9s and an 8.5. That averages out to 8.875.
And I'm really here for it.
Yeah.
On Netflix.
This might be one of Netflix's best original movies ever.
I agree.
Specifically,
I'm trying to think of another one that I liked as much.
Specifically,
well, let's see what you say when Rebel Moon comes out.
I mean, I feel like Rebel Moon's probably not gonna be this good.
Might be a lot of fun.
But I think this might be the best one I've seen that they did from the jump, because like the Trial of the Chicago 7, I think is a better movie, but they bought that after it was done. You know, they didn't produce that. So I don't know if I count that. But that, you know, they've had some decent ones. I would have to go back and look through them to see which ones I really like, but this one is definitely top tier with what they've done.
That might have been why I wasn't on it right away, because it was like, Netflix original, you know. And then Andy's like, you're gonna really like this movie, I think. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's pretty good. 8.875 average. That's man, that's one of our highest of the year. Let's see. Oppenheimer was higher. Guardians 3. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
John Wick had all 10s.
What got all 10s?
John Wick got 4 10s or 3 10s.
It did. We really liked that one.
Best action movie of the decade.
We were really here for it.
But it's still, I mean, turn it on right now. It's fucking badass, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I get like, Finn, I get your criticism of it. I just don't care.
I'm not even complaining. It's not a complaint, and it's like I said, I was just trying to distinguish it because Rob kept referring like, I like assassin movies like this and John Wick, and I'm like, well, those are both technically assassin movies, but they're way different assassin movies. And the genre of assassin movie that I like is more this style. You know what I mean? Like a little more like the first Jason Bourne, this movie, not taken away from John Wick at all. I loved especially the first one. Where those fell off for me is when they got the armor-proof suits. I was like, all right, you know, and they're getting hit with like 1,000 bullets, and they're just just kind of rolling over cars and stuff, and I'm like, this is now a different movie.
See,
it's a superhero movie.
It just made me love it more.
But no, that's fine. I'm not like, I still like those movies. I just can't compare that with this one.
No, it's different.
And say these are the same. Like to me, those are not.
Yeah, they are.
What about the Professional?
We don't talk about that movie.
We don't talk about Professional here. Yeah,
it's been a long time since I saw that, but
problematic.
But yeah,
that movie is about grooming. We don't talk about that here. a movie made about grooming by a groomer. That's especially troubling. Yeah, ever since Brighter Side brought that to my attention, I don't look at that movie the same way, which is unfortunate to say the least, because I really liked that movie, and now I can't separate it from the director. Especially, you know, I'm pretty good at separating art from artist, but when the art so closely shines a light on who the creator is,
shine a light on you.
I'll curse you out. So that movie's tough for me these days. Okay, I think that does it. Finn, thank you for joining us. Like I said, if you don't know Finn, ventchat.com. Check us out. You can hear me and Dawson for like 4 more hours a week if you'd like to.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, this was fun. We will be back next week to review another Netflix movie, Leave the World Behind.
Oh, I thought we were doing Godzilla next.
Godzilla's the week after, sir.
Yeah.
Godzilla's on the 18th. Next week's Leave the World Behind because that comes out next week. So we're going to do that first week, opening weekend or whatever the fuck. And then we'll hit Godzilla and then Rebel Moon Part 1. We're doing 3 Netflix movies in a 4-week stretch. That's never happened.
Well,
it hasn't.
If somebody was dedicated to the show, they could go out to the movies, but
I think you would like this movie better than the other one. If I can say that. Feels like The Killer's better than Napoleon.
It is.
Okay.
I've seen both of them.
All right.
I've seen both of them.
By everything I've heard, this is the better movie. So
much better movie.
Yeah, I would have rather watched this than Napoleon.
You want to watch Joaquin Phoenix clap cheeks?
I don't.
Napoleon.
I mean, I don't not want to watch that.
Now I really don't know what that movie is about. I thought it was one thing. Now it sounds like something completely different.
Napoleon conquers everything.
It's Napoleon.
I see.
He doesn't conquer STDs.
Pole. All right. We'll see you next time, everyone. Bye.
You don't need to follow me. You don't need to follow anybody.
But you can follow us. I'm Brent, and I am
X, not Malcolm.
And he's Rob, and he's
Rob 1.
There's also Reggie, who is
hidden.
We can't forget about Dawson at
Andy
_.
Dawson.
Don't forget to follow the podcast at Cinema Chat Pod on Twitter, and check out our website cinemachatpodcast.podbean.com.
I'm following you now. I'm just gonna follow you everywhere. I'm just gonna follow you the rest of my life.
Thanks, Peter. Now, if the rest of you would get off your ass and follow us, that would be great.
Mail, motherfucker.
Oh, and don't forget to send your emails to cinemachatpod@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Please, send us something. Have a good week, everyone. Goodbye. I can't believe this guy got on here and said, I hoped the microphone on the laptop would be good enough. I can't believe that.
Hey, take it easy.
You're still here. It's over. Go home. Oh, and don't leave your garbage all lying around. It's a total dick move. Go.
All right. Thanks for hanging out, Twitch. We'll see you next week. Bye.
See ya. Toodaloo.
Toodaloo, toilet head.